Okay, now we'll start from the beginning how Lighthouse started. There was a group of people who were down at Reedy Creek. There's about 8 of us got together just to talk about helping the homeless, because that's our main thing we're starting out with, homeless outreach. Because we saw quite a bit on the coast, homeless people, especially on the beaches, sleeping on the beaches all the time. So we got together and we sort of formed a soup kitchen committee. That's where we started from. That was 9 years ago. We started doing the soup kitchen, and from then on we were just feeding the soup every Saturday night, and throughout the week people would come and get food support from us. So that's how we started, but it wasn't only charity when we started. We were just actually normally just a group of people funding ourselves, just supporting the community. So then we teamed up with a charity in New South Wales. It was called Lighthouse Community Services.
Oh.
So we went with them for about nearly probably 2 years, and they were tax deductible status, so we get people start donating money to us, so we could actually get some funding and get things running. So that was the reason we teamed up with those guys, because they already had charity running. And then we had our Canungra Op Shop. There was another charity running that. That was Sanctuary 7. I'm not sure if any of you heard that before. It was actually a women's refuge running down in Kirra, down Tweed Head. And they actually sold their building and closed it down, and still kept their op shop going. And they were going to restart, but they didn't have enough volunteers to restart the women's shelter. So that's where they came to us and asked us if we would want to take over their shop and then also start another women's shelter. And we all agreed to it. So that's what we were looking at, taking over that shop. The condition was we had to start our own local charity on the Gold Coast. And that's where we started Lighthouse Community Services, just before we could take over the Canungra Op Shop. So we started Lighthouse Community Services. We got our charity status, we got our tax deductible status, so we could give people tax deductible receipts, because everyone likes them when they wanted to donate some money. So that's where we went from there, and then we grew from there into Southport. We got another 2 shops in Southport after we were running there. So we ran that one that was about 4 years ago. We took over Southport, started 2 shops there. There's a furniture shop. That's where some of the furniture goes from here over there if they can't sell it here. And then this one here was in 2018. The committee from this charity was obviously retiring and getting a bit old too, and they asked us if we were going to take it over. So we didn't come and ask for this shop. So people are saying actually that we come and try and take it over. We actually got approached to see if we'd take it over, because we're already running charity. Because as a charities, you can't just go and hand it over to anybody. As a charity, if you've got any assets or any shops or anything, it has to be handed to another charity with the same sort of goals and the same sort of constitutions. That's just a regulation with charity bodies in Australia. So that's why they handed over to us if we were to take over and continue running it. And the agreement was that we'd do up to 50% to local community, and overseas aid. That's what the previous charity was doing. That's what they requested from us when we took over. And we said that's what we're doing anyway. We're doing overseas aid as well, and we're doing a lot of local stuff also here and in the coast. So that's how this came about, this shop here, and the other 2 shops as well. So in between that, we also had 2 years ago we put a contract on another shelter for women's accommodation. That we had another donor who was going to give us quite a bit of money, and they got cold feet at the last minute after we'd already had the contract signed. So we lost that. We had to cancel on that deal. Last April we had another contract signed on another property, very nice one. That was a very nice one. We would have liked to get that, but the banks came back and said it's a commercial property because it had a shop underneath and accommodation upstairs. Ideal, perfect running, because the shop would have been funding it and helping upstairs with it later. And they could also come and volunteer if they wanted to get back into society. That fell through due to it was a commercial property, the bank said, and we needed 30% deposit, not 10%. So we needed another $150,000, and we didn't have it. So we went back to square one and we had to cancel that one as well. I've actually just found another property 2 weeks ago. We have got the money now, so we're just negotiating that one at the moment. And that's 2 houses, 2-story, enough for quite a few women to house in there. So that's our main aim is the Lighthouse Community Services was homeless outreach, and the big main one was looking towards emergency accommodation for women and children and abused women. Because this other charity what we took over from First Shop that's what their aim was. They've been running for 15 years, and then they closed down, and then we were going to restart it. But there was a few hiccups with some of the issues they had with their money and that, and it all got shut down. So that's our main aim as our charity is women's emergency accommodation and children and outreach, and also overseas aid. We do a lot of overseas aid to Vanuatu, is our main one at the moment, especially now that even the cyclones came through again just in April and destroyed everything what we've been building there for the last 8 years. So it's wiped out. If you want photos, we can send them to you. It's just destroyed completely. We do schools, communities, toilets, water supplies, all that sort of stuff. A lot of the money towards those things is all fundraised and donated into it, because we try to save most of the money from all our shops goes into the pool for the women's accommodation. So that's where the money at the moment's been saving to. I'll give you some figures in a minute to see what we're going at. And then also community here. Caroline has a finger on around here who needs help, and we'll just, whatever they need here, we'll just give it to them. So if she comes to us, she'll say they need some more money, no problem, just do it. We don't stop her from doing any community support. So they come to us and say, yep, we've always just given a go ahead, so they come to Caroline and we'll just give them money. So there's no saying that we're trying to rob the community here, because people are saying that we're keeping all the money and taking it away and spending it. Had a few accusations from her saying that I get paid as well. No one on our charity gets paid except the managers of the op shop. What's that?
Is that a religious
charity? No, the charity is totally independent charity.
Yep.
So it's any people from anywhere can
be on the committee.
Yes, it's not a like only religious. So our charity is set up as an independent association. So it can be anybody. We have most of our volunteers are non-Christians or anything like that. So a lot of them just come off the streets all over the place. So we've got about between 80 and 90 volunteers. Who volunteer throughout, like from soup kitchen stuff and all that sort of stuff, right through all our shops and finish. And you guys here as well. So.
I know you and your dad also go over building.
Yeah, my dad doesn't go as much, but myself and my brother we're going over every about 2 to 3 months. We're flying over and rebuilding stuff, all at free of charge. We don't no charge.
There, isn't it?
We pay our own ways, all this sort of stuff. So it's 100% commitment. When we started this charity nearly 9 years ago, they told me, they said, there'll be a big toll on you, it'll take a lot of your money, you'll actually be short of it, and I said, okay, and I took that commitment. I was actually earning lots of money, and my income was, I'm a motorhome manufacturer, so I build motorhomes for all the old people.
Excuse me. Excuse those words.
So you own the one at Cornwall?
Not everybody's old.
Down at Chicken?
What's that?
That motorhome place that hires, is that?
No, not mine anymore. No, actually mine, I've actually stopped doing it.
Okay.
2 years ago, because the charity took over too much of my time. So I ceased doing motorhomes. So my main income was motorhomes, manufacturing, so and I was earning really good money. Had my own factory and all my employees. But charity I decided with my family too, we either put time into charity or we put time into making money. And we decided to put into charity. So my income cut right down. Nothing to hide. You can even, like, if you don't believe me, I'll show you my taxable income. I used to be over $100,000. I'm down to about 25 cents. But as long as I have enough to live, I don't care.
Yeah.
So, and I'm happy doing this. I'm happy flying over to Vanuatu and helping people. I enjoy doing it. If you don't enjoy doing something, don't do it. So people thinking that I'm getting, like she accused me the other day that I actually make all this money and I'm self-benefiting from it. I'm robbing the community with this truck every week, take the stuff out of here. And I was like, when you do it all for nothing, and then people say that sort of thing, it sort of hurts you a bit, because you're like, you bust your butt. I make all you guys here working too for nothing. And it's and I'm doing the same, and I'm the president of the charity, and it's on the committee. And you don't normally see a president or a CEO of a charity out doing the work themselves. They're just getting the big money on the back, and that's how most charities work. They'll always take 20 to 30%. Any money comes in, they'll take a cut off it. We don't take any.
I know.
So any money comes in.
Worked hard finding somebody like you for us to trust.
Yeah, and so our money comes in,
Yeah.
and I'm very tight with money. I've been running businesses for a long time. So it's the same as a charity. We're very tight, trying to save. We don't waste any money anywhere. We try to really make it worth our dollar, because we're all working for nothing on it. So you want to make sure you get the most out of every dollar that comes in. Same as like even coming down to these clothes, going out of this shop here. People go, oh, where do you get all those clothes and take them? Well, originally, all our shops used to send our clothes to Statewide. It's a ragging company, and they'd give us 10 cents a kilo. And so it's just basically all the rubbish we just can't sell at the shops. It goes into Statewide. And so 2 years ago, might have been 3 years ago, we had an idea that would help Vanuatu. We said to them, you just get a second-hand clothing shop going, we'll supply you with stuff, you can pay us 40 cents a kilo, and instead of us dumping it for 10 cents a kilo, so the charity gets an extra 30 cents a kilo more than we were dumping to the other mob. So we win, and they win as well to be able to support the community. We've actually got 2 shops going in Vanuatu, we supply over there, and they've got 18 staff, actually employed staff, so they help the community. They also put money back into projects as well into the community there too. So they won and we won as well, because instead of dumping our clothes for 10 cents a kilo. So people ask, where's it all going in the truck? Well, it goes back to my house, and my wife and us, we sort it all. Half of it goes to, 50% always goes to Statewide, because it's just not saleable or not anything. It's just ripped in that. So 50% goes straight to Statewide, other 50% gets exported. We've also exported, and it's free to Solomons. We've sent emergency containers over there for when they've had disasters. Vanuatu was last year when the cyclone was, 2 years ago the cyclone. We sent free containers as well for all clothes, no charge at all. So we do stuff like that as well. So we're not out to rip anybody off. So that's where all that stuff, because everyone says, oh, the truck comes in every week and robs Canungra.
Thank goodness it does, because
Yeah.
it would have been
And
going
that's
to
what
the
I'm saying.
tip.
All the
wouldn't
shop,
it?
this builds
my
up.
husband used to work
Yeah.
at the tip, and he said they used to dump
Yeah,
it.
all the shops used to just dump it. So we got onto Statewide. Most charities don't, they dump it. I go to the dump each week with a truck of rubbish,
Yeah.
because all our shops have that much rubbish. And I see just truckloads of clothes dumped in the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good clothing too.
Yeah.
It's a shame, but a lot of them, like St. Vinny's, Lifeline, they all just dump them at the tip, like tons and tons a week. And yet we save all ours. We don't dump any clothes at the tip. So we're really getting most out of our wastage. Even getting our dumping pass took us nearly 6 months to get the approval, just to get dumping, to be able to dump as a charity. So it's been a lot of paperwork to get everything running properly. And like even with the bushfires, Karen was saying about people saying that we squandered the money.
Yeah, what happened to that lady's from Melbourne's money? Is there any,
I don't know.
I don't know.
what do we tell
But
you?
I don't have
She
a
got on
name.
the
Oh,
Like,
no name.
If I had a
Oh.
name, then I could track down, like, did she actually
But she
donate
didn't really
to us?
check that hard, because all you have to do is check up ACNC, the charity body for Australia-wide, and type in our name, or even just on Google, and I'll come up with the ACNC, and that's my mobile, current email address, everything. So she didn't look very hard.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and even if you type Canungra Op Shop, comes up with Canungra Op Shop, and it'll see who's registered under. It's Lighthouse Community Services, because I registered the name Canungra Op Shop. The reason we didn't change it is because Caroline, when we took over, they just put all new signs up. So we were going to change it to Lighthouse Op Shop. And Caroline said, oh, we'll just put new signs. I said, no problem, we'll just register the name. So we're legal, so it's still under Lighthouse Community
Well, if
Services.
it hadn't been for you, we wouldn't have had an op shop anymore in Canungra, would we?
Well, if we had,
Perhaps.
you would have to find somebody who had a charity running,
Yeah.
or you would have to start one up, and that takes 6 to 12 months to get a charity up and running. And then to get DGR status, tax deductible status, it is really hard. Most smaller charities, most smaller charities don't have that. So even with the bushfires, because we've had DGR, it benefited all the people. They're all happy to donate money and get a tax deductible receipt. So it's a win-win. They get being able to help, and then they get a receipt back. So that's a big positive for the community as well. So here's some figures for 19 and 20. Op Shop sales in 2019 was $106,000 total income for 2019 year. It was 18 we took over 18.
So you
August
mean
18.
from January to December?
No,
or
July,
July?
30 June.
Right.
So it goes from
Is
30
that,
June.
is that all of them, or just this one?
This is one only. I'll give you the
Yeah.
total of all of them.
This one.
This is one only. Was 106,000.
Which would have been impacted by COVID, yes?
No, that was up till last 19.
Oh, right. the
So
previous
19 years
financial
is
year.
like 18 to 19.
Yeah.
And then 19 to 20 is I've got the
And of course, that was from September to
Yeah, 'cause
the
we
end
took
of June,
over.
because it was only a 9-month period.
Yeah, we took over in August, September, somewhere there,
Yeah.
in 2018. So that was 106. In the 2019-20, that was 131,000. So it went up.
Go girls.
So it went up, and that was really good. And also, even the COVID, we thought we did lose a bit of money at the beginning when we were shut here for a bit. We were going behind, but as soon as it opened again, it actually doubled. the income was greater before than like even cut the hours back.
Yeah.
So it went really well, not only here but in all our shops across Gold Coast as well. Not only our charity as well, other charities, they all had the same effect. All op shops nearly doubled income
Wow.
in that short period of time. Like, it was amazing. Like, we thought we were going to go, because we were going behind about $16,000 a month when at the start of the COVID, so we were losing about $16,000 a month. But after that, we gained it again and got back up again. So it was really good.
Wow.
So like, that's all your hard work. That's what you made. Like last year, it's just going up. This year, like even the current this year, this current today is $68,000 current today from June 30.
Well,
From June 30 to now, it's $68,000.
Woohoo!
So it's also because of COVID has made people just spend more money. So you've earned $68,000 since 30th of June. So that's really good.
Is that profit?
No, that's total income. Or
Oh,
your
right,
profit.
I was going to say, is it?
No, total profit. So total, but that's just the total income. So everything coming in
Yeah.
and your sales, and then
Rents.
so
Yeah.
the total profit for say 19 was $53,000. Was the total profit for the to be out of local expenses here. That didn't take out all the other things like your vehicles and all the other insurance
So
and all that
it's
sort of
gross
stuff.
profit then, yeah.
Yeah, so your gross profit is 53 it was, and then you take off your if you divide up with all our 3 shops, so you have each equal, so you get insurances and all those other things. It's about another $7,000 each shop to got. So realistically, this shop in 2009 is about $46,000 around that profit.
It's a good,
Good profit.
good help towards that refuge, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'll tell you the other shops as well, what we're getting on total. And then this last year, 30 June, was 64 because it went up nearly $10,000 from the previous year, obviously COVID. This year will be higher again as soon as we get to the next 30 June because of the income we've had from the boosting of this COVID from after 30 June. It's gone up a fair bit. Like you said, we're already at $68,000 and it's only November now, 1st November.
But that's still gross, isn't it? You
Yes,
don't
gross,
do a
yes.
monthly budget. But
Yeah, we've got we can do monthly now.
yeah.
We've got it all set up so we can do it monthly, and I can give reports to Caroline from now on, so you can say how much we've made and how much each month, so you can actually see, okay, we're doing well this month or we're going up or down. You can do monthly or quarterly, whatever you want. I can do either, and you can see how much we're saving. So that was that. On the total charity, we got the total charity in 2017. We turned over. Our income was $383,000 from the 3 shops. 18 was 378, and then 2019 502, and the 21 was nearly 600. So it's going up. Just between 3 shops, so it's just going up and up. So total profit each year was around about $100,000, averaging $100,000 each year. So each year we've been around $100,000. So at the minute we've got nearly $400,000 saved in the bank.
Wow.
Towards the women, it's just what I'm saying, we're looking at this purchasing down property because we've got 400,000 now. So that's why we can look at which one we're going to buy and get something underway. It's probably going to be around about $800,000 to $1 million what we're buying. So we're going to buy our money. We're buying our money.
So are you doing GST?
We're GST registered, but we get it all back.
Yeah, okay.
We get all GST comes back. So because we're a charity.
Yeah, okay.
So anything we buy as GST, we get it all back. At the end of each 3 months, quarterly basis, we get our GST back.
Oh, that's all right.
And we're stamp duty exempt, all exempt on everything. So
Do
it's
you
coming
get
back.
government funding at all?
Nothing.
Nothing?
We're 100% solely funded ourselves and from our shops and everything. So we haven't got any money from the government. Yeah, so. But Belle was saying we should start getting some money for this rubbish shelter. So all this information you can actually see our profit and loss statements online with the AECNC site.
Yeah.
Every year.
I mean, not to that detail.
It'll be uploaded soon.
It will be all uploaded to the new website too, getting built now. Belle's coming to that. So I'll be all updated with it. And you can,
But the ACN stuff will all be updated soon.
yeah, so ACNC is actually behind at the minute due to we changed auditors last year. So if you went on the ACNC, it will say we're behind our last year's.
Yeah.
18, 19 is audit. It's actually with the auditors finished now. and it should be out hopefully next week. But we had delays back in from December. We changed, and then our bookkeeper got operation for hip op, I think it was 2 hip operations, so she was out. And then our COVID came along, and then the office, the auditors shut down for a bit. So we've been way behind on that, and we should be up to date. Hopefully in the next week or 2, we'll have it back out from the audits, and then the ACNC will be up to date. And you'll be able to see all the profit losses, everything on
Yeah,
ACNC.
we need
That's
to.
why I come out today to sort of inform you
Yeah,
of what we're doing.
yeah.
We're not a charity repping the community.
And it gives us a bit of more.
And then all you guys can actually then say, well, no, this is what happens with it.
Yeah.
Even if you want to go and see all the figures, just go onto the charity site, or the ANC, the government body, and I'll tell you all the figures where the income is and goes and
So what I will be planning on doing is updating this, our website for this op shop with some of this, now that we have
Yeah.
these figures that have been completed. I can put
like,
more,
like,
Yeah, brings it more local again.
yeah.
Yeah.
and so like yours, here it is, this with this the bushfires. I've got all the actual listing of where it went to as well, but Caroline's going to summarise it and say so much went to water, so much went to stock feed, where we're paying stock feed to the hardware here, we're doing all those things, gutter cleaning, things at houses, so that's where it all went out to. There was a total of around $16,000 donated in for that,
That would be really good to get all of those.
and we spent $13,079, so there was a balance of $3,000 sitting in the account still for bushfire stuff or something. So that's all been allocated and everything, so all the money went straight back out to the people and everything. So even on Burley, where we are, we mainly look
I
after
saw one yesterday.
Burley, all along Burley,
Mm.
and we'll have probably about half a dozen who live in their vans
Yeah,
full time. We had quite a few living on the beaches.
yeah.
A couple of them died on the beach.
Oh.
Yeah.
Last year we lost 2.
I'm surprised we don't have people.
I know,
living
it's-
here, you know.
I'm surprised at their shop here, like when you used to have your stuff sitting here,
Yeah.
no one comes and robs anything.
Yeah.
Because if it was down the coast, it'd be smashed to pieces
Yeah,
in
we
1
gone.
second.
Yeah.
I reckon some stuff.
Well,
Yeah, some of it
stuff
does.
goes walkies, but we
They must need it more than we did it.
Well, we
Yeah,
made
that's
it.
exactly what I like.
That's what I always say. I say, oh, they must need it more than we, so they can have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're here to help people, not here to stop them. So, any other questions anyone wants to know? So yeah, I'm not getting paid.
Should be.
No, people have said to me, why don't you just get paid? I said, no. Our commitment is no payment. Our money goes 100% back into the charity. That's what it is. So,
That's great.
so I work a full-time job still too.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do a full-time job. I'm a mechanic as well. All that we got 2 trucks, 3 vans the charity owns. So and I bought this one in an auction for $3,500.
Wow.
So I'm really bugged to make sure I get things cheap because I had a problem with the gearbox and it cost us $1,000 to fix it. So that truck's normally about $15,000. So
Yeah.
instead of me making the money and say I'll give it to the chat, they just get everything at cheap
Yeah,
so I can
yeah.
save the charity money.